Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to today's The Hindu News Analysis. In today's news analysis, we'll be discussing about 8 important news articles in the Hindu newspaper today. Coming to the front page headlines, Amphan kills 72 in West Bengal, brings life to a halt. So, the deaths have occurred in 8 districts, including 15 deaths in Kolkata itself. Also, the casualties were due to falling of trees, electrocution, house collapse. The Prime Minister to survey Bengal and Odisha today. Mamta Banerjee sets up 1000 crore fund. Also, most of the deaths were reported from the district called as South 24 Parganas, which recorded the maximum death of around 18 deaths. Also, followed by the North 24 Parganas with 74 deaths. Also, as we all know, the cyclone had made a landfall. Made a landfall means it reached the coast at near Sagar Islands. Okay, so more detail about Amphan cyclone, the prelims facts which we have to study, the mains related questions which are a possibility, we have discussed in detail in the yesterday's news video. Please go through the yesterday's news video for more details on Amphan cyclone. Coming to the second news article, PLA blocking Indian patrols in Ladakh, Sikkim, says Ministry of External Affairs. Also, India rejected China's claims of trespass into its territory. Coming to the news, New Delhi on Thursday rejected Beijing's claim that Indian troops trespassed into Chinese territory and accused People's Liberation Army, this is the army of China, PLA. So, accused the PLA of hindering patrols by the Indian soldiers. Also, the Ministry of External Affairs clarified that all Indian activities are entirely happening on the Indian side of the LAC and that India have not crossed the border, crossed the LAC. So, more detail about this news we'll be discussing in the editorial today. It is also related to issues between India and China. Also, coming about the rise of the cases in COVID 19, on an average of 5,000 COVID 19 cases have been recorded daily in the last 7 days, which is a very high cause of concern. Also, it is 1,200 more than the previous week's average. So, the COVID 19 cases are increasing day by day with around 5,000 as the average in the previous week. Also, India had recorded its highest single day jump of 5,931 cases on Thursday. Now, coming to the active cases and the recovered cases, the active cases comes to around 65,758. The recovered cases comes to around 48,261, and the deaths come to around 3,561, which is less compared to many other countries. Also, India's case tally is 11th in the world as of now, and the number of people who are recovered, it comes to around 40.38% of the total active cases, total cases. Okay. Now, as we all know, the government had decided to resume the domestic flights on May 25th. So, the government has announced the price range based on the duration of the flights also. So, here the government has given more guidelines related to resuming of the prices. The price range, the guidelines for check-in, how many passengers will be allowed, how much aircraft will be allowed. So, these guidelines have been given. So the center on Thursday set a price range for the air tickets, which would be a function of the duration, flight duration. For example, the Delhi Mumbai, depending on the duration, like uh, they have categorized the total flight routes in India into 7 categories. Depending on the distance and the time taken by the flights to reach the 2 points, and based on that, a minimum fare and a maximum fare has been uh, set. So the scale has been divided into 7 categories, with the lowest range defined for flights of less than 40 minutes and the highest category set for the longest domestic flights of up to 210 minutes. So you can see the minimum fare and the maximum fares here. So also several other norms, including a mandatory check-in by travelers either online or on the phone before reaching the airport has to be done. So earlier check-in could be done in the airport itself. Now this mandatory check-in has to be done online also before moving to the doing check-in in the airport. Also, The people who are traveling, they must provide medical details of themselves, either through the Arogya Setu app or a self declaration form. Either you have to show the Arogya Setu app, or you should write a self declaration form about your medical history. And also coming to the capacity, I mean the coming around 33% of the total airlines would be operated. So the complete airlines won't be started, only 33% of the airlines will be started. So, coming to the editorial of the day, keeping the peace. So, this is related to the issue between India and China. So, India and China must end tensions on the border by clarifying the LAC. LAC stands for Line of Actual Control. So, what is this LAC? LAC is a demarcated line which demarcates territories which are controlled by China and with the territories which are controlled by India. So, this line came into existence after the Indo-China War of 1962. So this line actually separates parts of Kashmir. For example, Aksai Chin is actually a part of Kashmir, but it comes on the other side of the LAC because it is controlled by China, right? So this is about LAC, and so LAC in it actually divides Jammu, the Ladakh area into two, one controlled by China and one controlled by India. So, with four incidents along the line of actual control in recent weeks, the India China border is witnessing the highest tension since the Doklam standoff in 2017. So, we all know that in 2017, India and China had a standoff with each other based on the Dokla. Because of the Doklam, here Bhutan, Doklam is a place in Bhutan, right? So, China tried to claim Doklam as its own, and India and Bhutan had resisted Chinese interventions at that time. So anyway, after that, the Prime Minister Modi and the presidency, they had agreed differences should not be allowed to escalate into disputes, right? Also, a clear message was sent to the two troops to abide by the detailed protocols. But as of now, the issues have escalated again. So the standoff in Ladakh appears to have been triggered by China moving in troops to obstruct a road construction activity by India. So last year, India completed the Darbuk Shiok Daulat Bedi Oldi Road, DBO Road, which connects Leh to Karakoram Pass. India also maintains a key landing strip at the DBO at 16,000 feet. So this is the reason. So this is the actual reason why the standoff is taking place as of now, because India started to construct roads on its side of the border, India side of the border. So China won't like any infrastructure projects which will help Indian military, right? So this is the main reason why China is creating issues as of now. So here you can see Daulat Beg Oldi, right? So who is this person? Daulat Beg. So it refers to Sultan Sayyid Khan. He is also called as Daulat Beg. So he was a Mongol Sultan. Okay, he was a Mongol king who is said to have died near this area, near Ladakh. Okay, because he had come to for a invasion of Ladakh and Kashmir in the olden times, and on the way back he had died in Ladakh. So this area is no, so that's in remembrance of him. The area is named as Daulat Beg Oldi Road, right? So India had been upgrading its roads as it plays catch up with China already enjoying an advantage in both terrain and infrastructure. We know that China has already constructed the infrastructure there. So China now seems to be telling India that it has no right to carry out the kind of activity that Beijing has already done. So it wants China wants Beijing, only China to construct the infrastructure there and not India. So India is well within its right to carry out construction work. Delhi needs to remind Beijing that a fundamental principle that underpins all previous agreements is recognizing the right to mutual and equal security of two sides. So if China has the right to construct infrastructure in their sides, then India has the equal right to construct the infrastructure in the Indian side, right? So that is what the article is telling. So anyway, the immediate priority is for both sides to use the existing channels and step back. India and China should grasp the current situation as an opportunity to revive the stalled process of clarifying the LAC. So this border, the LAC, the border and all, they are not properly demarcated between India and China. So this is the reason why China has their own idea of their border and India has India's own idea of the border, right? So based on various agreements, which has been signed in the 19th century. So because of these confusions, the standoffs and disputes are happening. So there has not been a proper demarcation of the border between India and China in many areas. So this issue should be seen as an opportunity to revive the stalled process of clarifying the LAC. Only a settlement will end the shadow boxing on the LAC. With both countries in the midst of an unprecedented global pandemic, the time to push for a settlement to a distracting, protracted dispute is now. So both countries should come to an agreement as soon as possible on its border disputes, right? Now, so these are the two areas where the border disputes have been happening. So one in Ladakh, which is seen in the left hand side, and one is in the Sikkim, state of Sikkim. Okay. So coming to Ladakh, the skirmishes have been happening in the Pangong So Lake. So the location of the Pangong So Lake is being mentioned here. So here you can see the line of actual control also. You can see this dotted lines. So on the right side of it, where Aksai Chin is there, which is occupied by China. Though it is a part of Ladakh, it is actually occupied by China. And coming to the left of line of actual control, it comes the Indian territory, Indian controlled territory. Okay. Also, the disputes between India and China in in Sikkim sector has been at the Nakula Pass. So in Sikkim, yesterday we have discussed that there are many passes in Sikkim which connects India with China, right? So Nakula Pass is one of them, along with Nathula Pass and Jalapla Pass, right? So this was the area of skirmish in the recent times. So please take a note of these two locations. And Pangong So Lake, it is easy to remember. You might have seen the Three Idiots movie. The climax of the Three Idiots movie has been shot in the Pangong So Lake in Ladakh. Okay. Also, we have seen discussed in the art editorial about the Karakoram Pass. So this is the location of the Karakoram Pass, near to which the Daulat Beg Oldi Road or the DBO road has been constructed by India. So this is the area where the DBO road is constructed. That is near the Karakoram Pass. Coming to the next editorial, a double disaster. So the article is about the Amphan super cyclone which happened in West Bengal, Odisha, and Bangladesh. Right. So the trail of death and devastation that the cyclone Amphan has left in West Bengal and Odisha demonstrate once again the fragile state of eastern coastal states during the storm season. So because at least 72 people are dead in Bengal, and normal life is paralyzed for millions in Kolkata and in the rural areas of both the states. So that Amphan would be a terrible disaster was already anticipated. But even with reliable forecast of its movement since May 16th, and the preparatory moves by the NDRF and the SDRF, the impact has been catastrophic. Okay. Also, the states along the eastern coast, they have evolved a code of practice for a storm coming under category 3 and above. So we all know, see, storms are categorized into various categories, category 1 to category 5, based on their wind speeds. So category 1 and 2 are having less speeds, and 3, 4 and 5 are having high wind speeds, and they are more catastrophic, right? So there is a code of practice which have been evolved for storm coming under category 3 and above. So there will be evacuations, arranging for backup power, warning people to stay far from the coast, designating strong buildings as cyclone shelters, and providing for at least a week's of supply of cooked food besides bolstering medical supplies. So these are the protocol which will be done for category 3 and above cyclones, right? Also, there is an additional challenge which is posed by these states as of now because the people have been moved to crowded shelters where the COVID-19 pandemic poses a continuing threat, right? So, adhering to hygiene practices, monitoring those requiring medical assistance, and testing for the virus is a high priority because it might be difficult for the physical distancing and all to take place, right? So, that is another, it is a double burden. So, anyway, many who are, and another dimension of this is many people who are working in the other states, the migrant workers, they have just returned to Odisha and Bengal in the wake of the economic paralysis caused by COVID-19, right? So, and they are also now affected totally. Like already they had to walk kilometers and kilometers to reach the state, and now they have been affected by the cyclone also. Now the situation is very bad. So the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has appealed for strong support from the center, which the state might must be provided to help it overcome the double jeopardy of the pandemic and the cyclone. Anyway, encouragingly, some of the vital activities have been resumed, such as the functioning of the Kolkata airport has been restored. So it will facilitate the movement of the essentials, and the additional NDRF personnel dispatch can be dispatched to restore normalcy. So the functioning of the Kolkata airport is a very good step. While the battle against the virus may be uh, won sooner or later, India must strengthen its capability, response capabilities for a never-ending cycle of storms along its coastline. We have already discussed that the frequency and the disaster potential of the storms are increasing because of global warming. Global warming will increase the surface temperature of the seas and oceans. So as the ocean surface gets warm, evaporation takes place and more moisture will be generated, right? So this moisture acts as the energy source for the cyclones to develop. Along with this moisture, warm ocean and the moisture generated, the Coriolis force. So these three factors will result in the formation of the cyclone, right? Tropical cyclone. So and since due to global warming, the frequency of this heating up of the ocean is increasing, and thereby the frequency of the cyclone will be increasing in the coming years or decades, right? So the eastern states, especially the eastern states of India, should be prepared for this coming disasters. Now, coming to the third news article, Odisha adopts contract farming system. So, we'll see the news first, then we'll see what contract farming is. The Odisha government has promulgated an ordinance allowing investors and farmers to enter into agreement for contract farming in view of the continuing uncertainties due to the pandemic. So it is argued that the system of contract farming, will improve production and marketing of agricultural produce and livestock while promoting farmers' interest. So what is this contract farming? Contract farming is a type of farming where the farmers can come into agreement with potential buyers. The buyers can be corporates, any companies. Okay. So what happens is an agreement is signed between these companies and the farmers for a predetermined price. So the quantity of the for example, take example of potato. Okay, the farmer will agree to supply this much quantity of potato to this company at a predetermined price. So the price of the commodity will also be determined before the agreement is being signed. So this will help in a price certainty for the farmers, right? Also, quality assurances will be made that the farmer will agree that the potatoes which are cultivated will be of this much quality. Okay, so the quality assurance will be made, as well as a time period for the supply of the goods will be made. So there are three things: one is the quantity, one is the quality, and one is the supply, I mean the time period in which the supply will be made, and the predetermined price. So this much information will be signed in a contract, an agreement between the farmers and the buyers. Okay, so coming to the history of contract farming in India, so PepsiCo had already signed contract farming in the 1990s itself. For example, with tomato producers, and presently with the potato producers. We all know that this PepsiCo company is involved in the manufacturing of Lay's and all, right, the Lay's chips. So the contract farming is already happening in the country between, but it is like isolated, like PepsiCo and potato farmers, and it is not for every cereals or pulses. For every food commodities, it is not there. So now the central government has decided that this contract farming should be given more focus on, because it gives more income security to the farmers, right? So in 2018, a model law on contract farming was enacted by the central government. So you may ask, anyway, the central government has enacted the law, right? So why not the other states are not following it? Only now we can see that only Odisha adopted the contract farming system, right? So the reason for this is that agriculture is a subject under the state list. So the center cannot force the states to adopt any laws related to agriculture. So that's why the central law is also called as model law for contract farming. It is just a model law. So seeing this model law, the states can should enact their own law, right? So that is why now Odisha has adopted contract farming system. Now other states also should follow the path of Odisha, and they should also enact the contract farming system. So remember this fact for prelims: agriculture is a state subject. So states are supposed to enact laws related to contract farming and all. So the central has provided a model law. That's it. Now coming to the next news article, private airlines to join Vande Bharat mission. So we all know that Vande Bharat mission is the mission by the government of India to bring back stranded Indians from the other countries, right? It can be West Asian countries, European countries, or even US, right? So the private, as of now, Air India was doing all the evacuations. Now, after the Minister of Civil Aviation said that private airlines will also be joining it. So the Indigo on Thursday announced that it will join hands with the government in bringing back Indian stranded overseas and operate 97 flights between Kerala and the destinations in West Asia and like Saudi Arabia, Doha, Kuwait, and Muscat. So Indigo is the first airline to join the Vande Bharat mission. Also earlier in the day, the Minister for Civil Aviation Hardeep Puri said the Vande Bharat mission will also have participation from the private airlines. Right. So here you have to just know about Vande Bharat mission. It is related to evacuation related to the COVID-19. Also, there's another mission by the Indian Navy. It is called as Samudra Setu. Right. So to bring back Indians, especially from Maldives and countries like UAE and all. Okay. So learn about these two missions for the prelims perspective: Vande Bharat mission as well as Samudra Setu operation by the Indian Navy. Coming to the next news article, WHO records highest daily number of COVID-19 cases. So, the World Health Organization said on Wednesday it had registered a new daily record number of COVID-19 cases as it quickly neared the tragic milestone of 5 million total infections. So, 5 million means it comes to 50 lakhs, right? So, the total infections are nearing to around 50 lakh. So in a single day, 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh 6,000 cases have been reported to the WHO. It is the most in a single day since the outbreak began in December. The WHO was also getting to grips with US President Donald Trump's reform ultimatum, giving the organization 30 days to overhaul its operations. Otherwise, the US, that is this biggest contributor, would freeze its funding and consider pulling out altogether. So, this WHO is faced with two issues now. One is to deal with the global coronavirus pandemic as well as the uh, issues caused by the United States, telling it that the US will freeze the funds to WHO, or the US will even withdraw from the WHO. This kind of ultimatum is given by Donald Trump. So the WHO is also in a bad situation as of now. So as of now, more than 4.9 million cases of the novel coronavirus have been registered in total since the outbreak first emerged in China last December. So according to a tally from the official sources. Meanwhile, Mr. Ryan, he also said that, official of WHO, he also said that neither hydroxychloroquine or nor chloroquine have been as yet found to be effective in the treatment of COVID-19. So this tablet, that is hydroxychloroquine, it has been said to have a potential to uh, treat the COVID-19 patients, but there have been no scientific research, proper research to say the effectiveness of this medicine, right? But in US, Donald Trump is mostly supporting this tablet. He even said that he's taking the hydrochloroquine tablet continuously for some weeks or so. So anyway, without proper scientific research, the WHO is telling that they won't be able to recommend hydroxychloroquine to treat the COVID-19 patients. So coming to the other articles, the health ministry, they have decided to study viral behavior in the corpses. Page 9. So here the health ministry wants to see how the virus behaves after a person dies due to COVID-19 pandemic. So this is for the research purpose. And second article being China plans to plan security law for Hong Kong in page 14. So here we know that there is an issue which is happening in Hong Kong. That Hong Kong is having a pro democracy protest against China, right? So Hong Kong wants more democracy, whereas China wants to control the democracy in Hong Kong. So here, the relation between Hong Kong and China has to be uh, read about. For example, like Hong Kong was actually a British controlled territory till 1997. Then British handed over Hong Kong to China in 1997. So, but after that, China tried to bring Hong Kong under its total control, like in the other Chinese territory. But Hong Kong wants more democracy, right? Even Hong Kong has its own legislature also. So there is a, it's like a autonomous region of China. Okay, so now China, what China is planning to do is, China is planning to do a security law for Hong Kong in Chinese parliament. So this is despite of the fact, in spite of the fact that Hong Kong has its own legislature. So this is supposed to create more issues between I mean more protest in the Hong Kong region against China. So that's all for today's news article. I hope you like the video. Please press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. Have a great day. Thank you.